Hi, so we're back with another match ramble, and today we're doing our first, it'll be our first ever PWG match, which, if you don't know, PWG is, to me, the definition of the Wild West when it comes to indie wrestling. It is a fucking, oh my god, it's insane how many people, how stacked that roster was. It's just, PWG is insane, and we'll talk about one of the most the Wild West of indie wrestling. Now, this match the match we're going to be talking about today is from PWG Don't Sweat the Technique in 2015. It is PWG World Champion Roderick Strong against Zack Sabre Jr. Now, so going into this, obviously PWG is kind of infamously known at the minute for one, how good the roster and how wild it was, but two, how hard it is to watch PWG because of all different situations going on. I don't really want to get into it, but the point is, this one, the whole event was uploaded on YouTube, so the quality wasn't great, but it's good enough, and the pictures may not be great, but it is available to watch the whole Don't Sweat the Technique event. Now, going into this, I have heard about this match for a while. It is considered one of Roddy's best ever matches, and obviously it's not a primitive Zack Sabre Jr., but a very early on compared to what he is now. Now, Zack Sabre Jr. is one of the greatest wrestlers in the world. To me, he is the closest thing we have to Bryan now, and even then, he won, Bryan and Sabre Jr. are very similar in terms of how good they are technically. So you'd think Zack Sabre Jr. is just by default my favorite wrestler in the world. No, believe it or not, no, he's not. I like Zack Sabre Jr. a lot. I just don't think he has that convincing edge. It might be just the presentation, I don't know, but it's not the same, and it's never gonna be. But it just isn't the same. Now, as a favour, so the match itself, so like I say, PWG is great. So similar to how Ring of Honor is for me, Ring of Honor, early 2000s Ring of Honor is very much a great atmosphere, where in the sense of the crowd's so into it, in the sense of where the smack and the mat, the atmosphere is something so great. And obviously, we all know how good Roddy is. Roddy's an all-timer, and PWG World Champ, this is considered Roddy's peak. And, well, that or Ring of Honor, it's a very, it's a very debatable definition, what you consider Roddy's at his best. For me, this match it's not as explosive or fast as what I thought it'd be. And I think that's kind of on my expectation. I thought with these two men, I'd expect a barn burner, quite a quick, more vicious type of match, and it isn't that. I think that is purely on my expectation. The match is great, it really is. It's just, I think the expectation, I expected a bit more explosiveness from it, especially from Roddy. He doesn't have that explosiveness. I do love, however, the match is one of the few matches I've seen where it portrays that. So in a match, normally, look at most wrestling matches you probably watch from any promotion, they normally do either it's so obviously, but it's not a showcase or squash match. They very rarely have it's kind of paced out in, okay, they meet up, do the lockups, then they have one person on top, then the rebuttal, stuff like that. It's very easily paced, and you can tell it's very rare they can convince. At least to me, I've seen very few matches convincingly do the whole hit a very even matchup, and you don't know which way it's going to go. Where matches are kind of feels like they're viewed on a seesaw in a weird way, where it'll be one end, then the other, then the other. It's very, very, very rarely in the middle, and it convinces you that this is one of those matches where it really is that. I really enjoyed it. It's very similar to well, no, because compared to the Kobashi versus Minoru Suzuki match we recently did, that match had the momentum where it was very one-sided at points, but in a great way where you didn't know if that was going to be the finish because of the representation of heroism. This one is more in the sense of who's going to win, because I don't know if even though the crowd split as hell, because I was thinking Roddy's the heel going into it, but I don't know, because Roddy's going into it and he's getting booed. Don't get me wrong, he gets booed going into it, but then as it further goes on, Sabre gets booed, obviously, because of the British link. Obviously, that makes sense. But then, people are... There's not... it's not like everyone's cheering for Sabre. A lot of people are, but a lot of people are cheering for Roddy. Again, it's a very even matchup in terms of how the match is portrayed. It's very, it's not one-sided at all. Points that really isn't. You get obviously, the crowd really do great here. The moves itself, I think Zack Sabre Jr. looks great here. Again, it's not the Zack Sabre Jr. we know now. It's not as vicious and not as slippery as in a positive sense. I like how Sabre Jr. is a lot more, I don't want to say explosive because he's not explosive, but he's more in the sense of like snappy. It's more in the sense of like Sabre Jr. is going to hurt you 100%, but it's not going to be as critical as it is now. Like, as he is now, he's a master. He's much more intimidating as he is here, obviously, just through time. Roddy, again, Roddy's great here. Roddy's backbreakers here. Roddy strikes. When Roddy turns it up, I feel like, not that he doesn't turn it up, but like Roddy does some sick-ass knees, the backbreakers, obviously the stronghold, stuff like that. They are great. They are, and the strikes, especially from Sabre Jr., his strikes are excellent, especially the uppercuts. I just feel like this match, it felt not always in second gear, but yeah, it kind of did. It feels like it was trying to build to that, like, you know, first gear type of, you know, boom, let's go for the finish. I thought that's what the build was going to be, and the build was great, but it didn't go to that extra level, which, again, my expectations fully play a part in that. But I just think as it further goes on, it got better. There's some sequences that blow your mind. I mean, when you're watching Sabre Jr., there's very rarely a match that doesn't have that type of effect. But then, as it further goes, I mean, Roddy's a lot more aggressive out of the two. Sabre Jr., what I thought they were going to go for was in the sense of Sabre Jr. was going to be the guy who had Roddy's number. There's a lot of great kickouts. The kickouts are excellent here, where they're very close. But then, you're like, it feels like they'll be going down the route of Roddy is brilliant. We all know how good Roddy is. But then Sabre Jr. was the guy who had his number, but then Roddy was just going to, you know, be more aggressive and be more angry. I feel like that was what they should have went with, and they never. It was more the sense of Roddy was going to be the guy who, everything Roddy did was much more effective than what Sabre Jr. was doing. Sabre Jr. was very much doing the holds, obviously, and the strikes when he did hit them, but it was very much rising to Roddy's level, and then Roddy would just go fuck it towards the end and get his shit in, and then get the win. Roddy does get the win. Shock, he retains. But I feel like, again, I'm being a bit overly critical, because the match is excellent. The match really is an excellent showcase. I feel like one thing it didn't, I feel like the speed of it was very, I don't want to say disingenuous. Its problem is with the speed is, I think it's my, obviously again, it's all on my perception. I know Roddy Strong can go like a fucking bullet, and that's what I love about Roddy. I think his style, when he goes it quicker, is obviously a lot more impressive. I think that's what elevates Roddy for me. And then with Sabre Jr. is brilliant. Even here, he's excellent. I feel like if you ran this back with two modern versions, it's what the match I'm expecting. So I feel like that, again, this is 11 years ago, this match. So it's a very different point in both men's career, not just Sabre's. So I feel like that's kind of on me. Roddy's very similar to how he is now. I'd say he's a lot more aggressive now than he is here. And considering that's what Roddy is known for, it's kind of wild. It's a great match. It really is. I feel like expectation going into it does harm it. I do. I feel like it's very rare that a match where you, because at the end of the day, you're going, like with me, what I'm doing here, I'm going back and watching matches, right, of wrestlers that I know, especially with Roddy and Sabre Jr. I know these two. Like, I know Roddy quite well. Sabre Jr. I know well enough, but I know Roddy quite well. I watch Roddy quite often. I have this expectation and knowledge of what Roddy is now, so to go back to earlier Roddy, especially in PWG, where I know what he's like in Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor is a lot more aggressive. PWG is a lot more just fuck it, Wild West shit. And I love that. I feel like that's what I was expecting, and again, that's on me. There's a beautiful sequence towards the match. Roddy running on the ropes, he is excellent. He really is. The finish with the backbreaker where he just switches it on is phenomenal too. I feel like that's what I liked about it, is every time Roddy did something, it looked effective. The knees, the flying kicks is phenomenal. Roddy's knees will never, ever, like, not blow my mind. The height he gets on that shit is phenomenal. It really is. For a simple knee strike, and it works so fucking well. And then you got Sabre Jr. where his kicks are doing well. He doesn't throw a lot of them, but his uppercuts, like the Claudio-esque uppercut. Bro, Sabre Jr. does one of my favorite, if you know me, one of my favorite Brian moves is when he does the shot, like the arm like that, and stamps on it. He does it to Roddy on the apron. It's fucking phenomenal. Again, I love that. I popped that. It's just, Sabre Jr.'s speed when he running off the rope was quick. I feel like they were just a bit, again, like I say, I feel like it was a match that if you ran it back now, it's what I'm expecting. But I feel like at this point in their careers, it's on me going into it, so I'm not like screaming on top of the fucking mountaintops for this one. But it's a great match, it really is. We'll definitely do more PWG, obviously, especially with these two guys. But as a match, it's considered an all-timer, and I kind of do agree with it. It is an all-timer for me. It's kind of like, it's similar to the Ibushi and Tanahashi match we did, where I think that match, you can recognise its qualities very easily. You can see why it's considered the reputation it has. But for me, I just feel like with Roddy and Sabre Jr. here, again, akin to that match, is, I get it, it's just not up there for me. There's matches I've seen of these two that I prefer and that are higher. And I think, again, if you ran, I think with Ibushi and Tana, just on a side tangent, I feel like they have multiple matches, so there's probably one I'll be more into. Same with this. I don't know if there is more with Roddy and Sabre. I think there is. So it makes more sense there might be another one that, you know, I might be a bit more into. But again, I feel like if you threw these two, as they are now, into this type of match again, I think it'd work. I wouldn't be against that for a Forbidden Door match. I think Sabre Jr. is one of those guys where, for Forbidden Door, I really love to see. I expect to see Sabre Jr. I think that's one of the highlights, to see Sabre Jr. at a Forbidden Door event. Last year, we obviously got the dream match of him and Nigel. So, I feel like this, I'm not saying this should be the match, but I wouldn't be against that at all. I feel like if they ran this back, it'd go fucking off. But the technical marvel is Zack Sabre Jr. and this match can still be seen. It's still not fully developed as much as, you know, he is now. But even watching it, you're like, Jesus, this guy's special. And, you know, obviously, we know what he is like now. And again, Roddy, just how Roddy's strong style is just so perfected now that it makes you, like, the thing is with Roddy here, it's similar to Sabre Jr. in a way, where Roddy's style now is so refined, so perfected, that when you're going back to it, it looks worse than what it is, because the final product, well, i.e. the modern product of him, is so, again, perfect and refined, that with this, it just seems a lower level than it is. This is still an insanely high bar. Same with Sabre Jr. His technical, how he's so technical is still phenomenal. It's just, with both guys, they're both masters, and I can't stress that enough. They're both masters of the craft right now. That going back over 10 years ago, it makes it look so much more primitive when it isn't. It's not primitive. It's master stroke. It's just this, what we have now, is really affecting the expectation, and that's completely on me. But again, if you have an interest, the full event is on YouTube. It's a great match. It really is. I don't sound so enthusiastic, even though it is a great match. It's just because modern Roddy, modern Sabre Jr., that's what I was expecting. And it's very different to that. But the atmosphere, the match itself, the moves, the shit they pull out, the vicious strikes in it are evident. It's just, I feel like watching it, I feel like if you have watched it, or you do watch it, you'll finish it after and go, that was a great match, but imagine it now. And I feel like that's a real good benefit to it. I feel like that's how good it is, because it's a classic now. Well, I wouldn't count it as a classic, but it's counted as a classic. I wouldn't put it in one of my, like, you know, this is a classic wrestling match, but I feel like the thought of them two having it now will be incredible. I feel like that's my biggest takeaway, but definitely worth a watch. Highly recommend it. And the full event is on YouTube there too. So yeah, let me know what you think of Roddy versus Zack Sabre Jr. on PWG. Don't Sweat the Technique in 2015. If you've seen it, let me know. Let me know any other matches you would like to recommend for me. I'm open to any suggestions. And yeah, first of many hopeful PWG matches we cover here.